Shannon Crotty from Polka Dot Powerhouse. I want to thank you so much for agreeing to be here with me today.
Oh, thank you.
And to talk about leadership, because that's what Gutsy Women Win is all about. It's all about stepping into your leadership and stepping into your power. So I have a couple questions that I would like to ask you.
Awesome.
First off, how long has Polka Dot Powerhouse been in existence? And just tell me a little bit about what it is.
This is our 6th year, and we connect really positive action-forward women across the globe. It's more of a sisterhood, but it's whatever you need the membership to be. So maybe you need business allies, maybe you need educators, maybe you need push agents, maybe you just need girlfriends. But that family is going all the time, much like a real family. And we stand together without any conditions, meaning I am here for you, but you don't have to buy a lipstick, because of that now. Yeah. But I know when you can help me, that you will also.
That's one of the reasons why I joined a year and a half ago. So I'm all about leadership, and I'm all about women stepping into their leadership and into their power. You are the leader of the organization. You founded it, you're running it, and you're recruiting people. I believe you have almost 3,000 people internationally. And I'm really curious to find out, what comfort zone did you need to leave in order to start this work?
Actually, every single comfort zone, like everything that I was, when I look back, I'm still myself, but I really had to create a new me. But the biggest one, I think, when I think about that, is understanding that people just wanted me to be me. Because when we started and when Polka Dot really took off, I thought, I was Googling, what does a founder eat? What do they wear? How do they talk? I thought what I hadn't envisioned as a founder was someone way different, was more capable, was more empowered than I was. And we actually had a few experts who wanted the best for me, but they didn't have the same vision. They weren't steeped in the same culture that we have. And they started to take us off course. And eventually it was me just understanding a founder just means that you have that vision so steeped in you. And all you have to be is yourself. That's all anybody wants you to be. That was the biggest comfort zone. It was me and that story I had created of what a founder looks like and what people expect of them.
I know. What I love about that is that, yes, we create our own stories, and our stories can either hold us back or they can push us forward. And we can change our story anywhere along the way. Yes. So thanks for sharing that. That's a really important thing to remember. Plus, it's important to remember that good leaders are really authentic.
Right.
Really
I
authentic.
love it when leaders tell the truth. I love business biographies because, like Shoe Dog, the memoir of Nike, talks about all the muck that company went through. And I think what's great about that is you see a company like that and you think, oh, that must be the life. You don't give them the credit of their journey, of they having earned that. And I think when leaders tell the truth, they enable people to feel successful, because we're not judging it again by that highlight reel, we're judging it by the reality that has happened.
What are maybe 2 or 3 leadership skills that you find to be most important in your leadership?
The things that I look for, number one, I look for someone who is habitually positive. I'm very much a pessimist, because let's face it, a leader is a great position to have, but it's often a big challenge. There's a lot of muck that goes along with that people don't see. And you have to have the belief that whatever I'm being handed is either a lesson or a gift, or usually both of those things combined. And every day as that business is growing, people think, okay, when I get here, it'll be great, but there'll be a new series of challenges. So you have to have that deep in your soul that I'm going to look at these things as gifts, as lessons, and I'm never going to give up. So the biggest one is that belief in that gift of life, that gift in this opportunity. The second thing is I look for people who know how to trust themselves. One of my big phrases is, I trust you, figure it out. I am a vision person, but I'm not a details person. And so I can see what I want to happen, but I don't know how to get it from A to Z. So I surround myself with people who are very intelligent and are the details people. And I'm stingy with the trust, but once I give it, I give it. So I trust you, figure it out, and you have to have a good belief system in yourself to get that kind of command and run with it. And the third thing is self-love. I think that what we're trying to do with Polka Dot and with what most companies are trying to do is is what everybody wants. They want to be seen, heard, and appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And it trickles down from the top. And if you don't have it in your leadership, nobody's going to feel that from your community, your product, whatever it is that you're trying to improve the world with.
Yeah.
They're not going to feel it, and it's not going to feel authentic to them.
Yeah. That's something I always tell anybody that I work with as a leader, that people are watching you all the time.
Yes.
And it's not the creepy, stalky kind.
Right.
But they're really, truly watching you because it's the behavior that you show that they model. So we're modeling all the time as leaders. Yeah. You talked about challenges and the challenges that we have. And I know growing a business is so challenging for us, and it can be all-encompassing in our lives. How do you sustain yourself? How do you get energy? How do you find the time to rest, other than we're on this beautiful polka dot cruise in the Caribbean right now, right? But in your day-to-day life, how do you sustain yourself?
I am really particular on who I spend extra time with, people that feed my soul. I believe we wake up in one direction, in this direction, and we'll either tilt this way or this way, negative or positive, based on what we surround ourselves with, what we feed our mind. I'm very protective of that space for myself and who I'm going to spend extra time with, what I'm going to read, watch, that kind of thing. I have a morning ritual where I write a thank you note to myself every single day. Shannon, thank you for doing this, whatever it was. I forgive you for anything I'm holding on to. And then some kind of positive, I love you, you're doing great, keep going, don't give up. And so there's that power of writing it. Then I seal them and I put them away. And when I'm having a horrible day, as we all do, I'll be like, give me 5 minutes. I'll sit down and read them,
Nice.
and have that second message from self.
Yeah.
And then I spend a lot of time with my husband, my kids, my why.
Right.
My why.
Yeah.
And in prayer to my sister, to my father who's passed, to my creator. It's taken me a long time because I kind of have had monkey brain, or I call Pop Rocks brain. And sometimes the hamsters ate the Pop Rocks, right? And it took me about a year to learn to meditate, to get my brain quiet. But I do spend a lot of time in that.
My book, Gutsy Women Win, in the book itself, it talks, thank you. Thank you. The book talks about a model that I work with a lot with my clients called the bigger game. And it definitely does talk about really connecting with your why. Don't even think about the how until you have connected with your why, because as you said, you will find people that will come along with you and they will be your allies regardless of what.
Right. You just have to see that 200 feet of headlight space. That's all you need to see.
Yeah. And you have to ask other people to come along, because there are people out there that are just yearning to do what it is, but they need someone to help them. They need someone to invite them. They need someone to see them. So when you say to see other people.
And I believe our flaws are our superpowers in hiding.
Yeah.
And so, for example, I would have never started Polka Dot if I had had any patience. I don't have any patience.
I'm with you. Right.
Sometimes that's an Achilles heel, and sometimes it bites me. But I would have never started Polka Dot if I'd had that patience.
Yeah.
So in that case, it was my superpower coming up. But where I find the fact that I'm a vision person but not a detail person, it forces me to connect and to bring people in.
Yeah.
Even on the days that I don't want to for whatever reason, it forces me to connect. It forces me to include others to do what I am not able to do.
Yeah. And I think that your vision of Polka Dot Powerhouse being a connection community is such a critical thing, especially in the world that we have nowadays.
Yeah.
How would you define gutsy?
I think gutsy is feeling fear and continuing to move through it. Just getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I was always the queen connector, but I wasn't good at connecting. Meaning I could connect you and you, and it would be great, and I would stand from the outside and wonder how you did that. The dots didn't even know they were doing it. They gave me the patience that I needed to learn that process for myself. Gutsy to me is knowing that it's not always going to be comfortable.
Yes.
And feeling it. We assume people do that, but there's so many people who don't. They stop at discomfort, and they never get to where they're supposed to go. So I think gutsy is moving through that discomfort, recognizing it as part of the process, and just closing your eyes and going anyway.
Feel the gulp and do it anyway.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so what is the last gutsy thing that you've done?
I think I do it every day. I allow myself to be me. And I understand that the people who are meant to be in my path, that are meant to be there on a more permanent basis, that's all that they're expecting of me. It's still uncomfortable. Because again, this founder the founder's coming And I'm looking behind me like, who are they expecting to come? It's just me, right? So I think for me, gutsy is just being myself.
Yeah.
And reminding myself that that's all that people are expecting me to be, and understanding that the more authentic I am with who I am, the more I allow people to get close to me. I allow them to help, to get into the vision, because I put down that wall that I had up previously.
Nice. And so Shannon, what is the next gutsy thing you're going to do?
The next gutsy thing I'm going to do is allow what's supposed to happen. When I go with the current and let the current take it where it's supposed to go, that's when the magic has shown up. So my gutsy move is going to be continuing to know that I don't have to know the plan. I only have to see that 200 feet of headlight, right? And I can trust that the rest will figure itself out.
Yeah. And all we need to do now is just look out at that beautiful ocean and watch the current, because that's where we're heading.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Stop fighting the current, just go with the current and know that it's taking me and the company and everybody involved somewhere wonderful.
Shannon Crotty of Polka Dot Powerhouse, I thank you for the work that you do in the world. I sincerely mean that.
Oh, Pat, thank you. And girl, I can't even imagine how far your ripple of impact goes out.
Woohoo! Thank you. Thank you.